Welcome to Bay Rats and Buoys with your host, Captain Gaige.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. I'm your host, Captain Gaige. This is episode number 18. We are getting back on track. We'll have the episodes numbered. We got a little off track with the New York Boat Show podcast series and putting up 10 episodes of Bay Rats and Buoys with a bunch of manufacturers and Mike from the Nautical School. It was an awesome time. We had Matt Broderick from the Fisherman Magazine, Steve from Clicks Fueling. So we had some great guys on there. Sean from Everglades, Rob. I don't want to leave anybody out. Tim from Steiger Craft. I can go on with the whole list. But you can check out the New York Boat Show podcast series over at sandcitycharter.com, guys. The YouTube channel is getting a lot of attention. Hopefully we'll hit the 3,000 subscriber mark by this weekend for my birthday, this Sunday, February 16th. So throw that in the comments there. Wish the old captain a happy birthday. And I can't believe we are just 61 days away from opening day for striped bass. That, to me, there you go. There's your 2 months right there. So I'm so excited that we are now just 2 months out. I don't care how much snow falls. It means nothing to me. I'm happy my friends that all own plows and plow companies are making some money. That's a good thing. But I can't wait. So right now, it's boat show season and it's fishing show season. And going on right now today, you got the Miami International Boat Show, which I plan on attending next year. This year we were just busy with what's going on and all the collaborating that we're doing and planning for what's happening. I got some really big news to announce in the next 3 weeks. So I want to say come the Ward Melville show, I'll probably be able to drop another bomb, drop some more big news that we have. Great stuff is happening, and I'm bursting at the seams. Super excited. And again, we're testing out new technology. I got new cameras shooting in 4K. I'm in the studio. It's nice and warm in here. I got a sweatshirt on, but I can't wait to be sitting on the boat and making these episodes on the boat in the springtime. Obviously, it's going to have to be over 50 degrees for me to be sitting on the boat. Anything colder than that, 55 is usually my threshold. I like to tell everybody that. Same water temperature that the bass like to start feeding on. So we said it's boat show and fishing show season, so I'm sure you guys are heading to all the boat shows and all the fishing shows. They're everywhere. There's so many of them, and I can't keep up with them all. I know we got the Rocky Point one coming up. I'm going to try to attend that one. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I am excited this year, guys, to be at Booth 35 and be a vendor for Bay Rats and Buoys, the podcast, in the gymnasium for the Ward Melville High School Fishing Club Expo and Fundraiser going down on March 1st at the Ward Melville High School. So, as I said in last week's episode, which really wasn't a numbered episode, I put it out there basically announcing that we were going to be at the Ward Melville High School for the fishing show, and we were excited about that because that news was hot off the press. That had just come in, and I gave a shout-out to a bunch of the companies that I always stop by their booths, and I said the Long Island Fisherman was at booth 47 in there. On the screen in last week's video, I did put that it was 57 as a correction, and they'll be at booth 57. I always go over there and see Matt and Tim and stop by, say hello. One year, my daughter was signing the cover of the magazine that she was on, giving out autographs. That was a big egomaniac moment for a young angler, which is what it's all about, guys. Speaking of young anglers, we are signing up for any and every tournament we can get our hands on. So I did just register for June 6th for the Manhattan Cup. So hopefully I'll hear back from them, and I'm excited to be part of any and every tournament that we can get our hands on and get involved in this year. Very excited as things are growing. We're hearing from a lot of really cool individuals and owners of companies, and we are collaborating. We do have dates set. And to me, that's really exciting because we know we've grown to where now it's people are reaching out to us. And when that happens, we've recently gotten some emails that'll blow your mind. I mean, really just incredible stuff. And like I say in all the episodes, you never know where this thing is going. You have no idea what you're creating and what you're doing until you actually sit on the boat and do it, like I did. And, I mean, we're 18 weeks behind already. That's incredible just on its own, because a lot of podcasts don't make it that far. They don't get out of they get out of the gate, and then they run out of content, and they don't know what to talk about. So, with just 2 months to go, all the charter companies now start booking dates, and there's a reason why I'm telling you that, because come April, it's busy. You know, everybody wants to get out there and get on the first bass, and April 15th, opening day. There's always the same people that call us up and book. The minute I email that special out that I did this week, I hear from the same people every year that want to take advantage of the discount and jump in. And some people jumped in on multiple dates, which is, I understand. That's great. And I'm happy to pass the savings on to them. I want to do. That's why we book early in the season now. It makes it easier for us to take care of the expenses of, getting the season started. All the money we put into the slip and to the boat and to the maintenance and the gear and just getting everything ready. It's, anybody that wants, we're going to do a podcast on, what it takes to start your own charter business as I enter my 4th year for Sand City Charter. Very exciting. And, like I said, I'm turning my hobby into a profession. And when you're passionate about something, it doesn't feel like I'm working, even like being on this podcast. Bay Rats and Buoys, although it is a full-time job, it really doesn't feel like it's a full-time job to me, because I really enjoy what I do. And with that said, anybody that books April, May, or June before the end of February, we're offering them a $100 discount on a 4 hours, $600 charter. So basically a $600 charter right now until the end of February is $500. It's a half a day, 4 hours, and we leave out of Huntington Harbor. So if you want to come catch some bass with us, that's pretty much what we'll be targeting April, May, and June. So a lot of dates went fast because I sent that email out to everybody that's been with us for the last 3 years, and a lot of the leads that we wound up getting through advertising that we did. So a mass email went out to everybody and invited them, and we also sent out a text to everybody as well. And I got to tell you, the response was overwhelming. I couldn't believe how many dates filled up in the calendar that fast. And it was a good thing. It's really exciting to see that people want to come out with me and Corey. We try to make it as much fun as we possibly can on the water. Some of the videos I make are serious, and they're serious for a reason. And usually there's a lot of humor in that, me being serious, because out on the water we have a ton of fun. One of the first things we're going to ask when we get on the boat is, what do you want to listen to? Because we're going to put on XM Satellite or Pandora and create the station, and commercial free, just listen to some fun music all day. And I got to tell you, on a lot of trips, that's been a big part of the fun and the excitement. Like when we got out there with Matt, Scott, and Jera. I mean, that's a trip for the books. And those videos, I'm going to post them. I just started putting up stuff from last summer. Now we're starting to put together all the different material that we had to show off and make some commercials. But we do have, me and Corey make sure that we're going out of the water. We're not stressing what we're doing, guys. We're going out looking for fish. Hopefully we find them. That's the optimism to it, is it's called fishing. It's not called catching, right? So you got to keep it real. There's no, we never guarantee anybody that you're going to catch a fish. That's impossible to do. That's like guaranteeing you're going to win the Super Bowl and bet on Mahomes, which that industry took a bloodbath on that one, huh? And, I record sports talk radio for the last 17 years. So I'm very well aware of what's going on in the sports betting industry as a whole. And the word guarantee and how you can use it and how you shouldn't use it. And I don't think it should be used in fishing. We don't guarantee anybody to catch a fish. You have a really good chance when you get on a boat, when you go out with guys that know the waterways, know the tide cycles, know the wind, know where the bait is, and you put all that together with your parametric pressure and all the other things that come into the mix that as captains we want to know and the technology. But I'm willing to say, I'm willing to shut all the technology off and get out there to the different spots that we fish all the time and spots we don't fish, and just based on what the elements are, that we would still be able to find fish. The electronics do help, but they're not a necessity as far as getting out there and knowing what to look for. And I don't mean getting out there and looking for the birds, guys, because you could put your radar in bird mode and not see anything going on, and there's still a ton of fish jumping out of the water in certain areas. So you can't always rely on the technology, and I think that's why knowing the tide cycle and when they're biting the most and when it turns on. There's times that me and I'll even use Captain Dave as an example, and we're out there and we're on the radio and we're on the phone talking to one another. We see the fish, we know they're there, and they're just not biting. And we're yelling at each other, and then our guests are all laughing and we're having a good time because we're still out on the water having fun, which is what it's all about. And we're yelling at each other to tell these fish to start chewing. And, that's usually when you got to sit and wait and get into certain areas and wait it out, because knowing it over the years, eventually that bite turns on. And it may only turn on for a very, very short window where everybody on the boat is hooked up. We can't net them and dehook them or dehook them fast enough to just get them off so you can catch another one, especially when you're catching over slots. And you want to get rid of them as fast as you can, but in some cases, people want to take a photograph with them, and I get it. Which we try to do in such a timely fashion that we don't even need to take our phones and pose. We'll do it all with the GoPro, where you're just taking it out of the water, lifting it up and releasing it, and it's all done in 15 seconds. And we'll take a screenshot from the GoPro. It's shot in 4K. It's going to make a great photograph, and that's all you need for your social media. You're not printing this thing out to be a wall display like this that's done in high definition, at 300 DPI. Because you're printing it. So that's the fun part for me and Corey, is getting out there and finding the fish. But again, there's no guarantees out there. Anybody that's saying they guarantee you find a fish, I think the realistic guys know what I'm talking about. And all the trips we've had in the past, we're going on our 4th year now, so we got 3 years in the books. There's been a few trips that you get skunked. It's going to happen, and it's a reality, and we're not ashamed of it. Listen, that's fishing. Probably happens to more people, a lot more than it does to us. I know guys that still haven't caught striped bass yet, and I'm like, I don't even know how that's possible. I don't know what you're doing wrong, or where you're going, where you're fishing. But I know when people are fishing next to us, they're not hooking up the same way that we're hooking up. There's a reason for that, and I like to attribute that to all the hard work that we put in the off season, now in the preparation of getting the rods ready, getting the reels ready. Phil at Cow Harbor, you just posted a picture of reels out on the counter. Guys are going to wait until the first week in April, when they know they're going to go fishing April 15th, and they're going to go bring their rods into the shop, or their reels into the shop, to get them fixed or maintained, and find out that you got to wait a month to get your stuff back. So we prepare now. We're doing all of that now. Our stuff is tied up and ready to go out there and catch fish, so that we can spend less time on the boat prepping gear, that in the morning we load up what we need. We got it. We're good. We stop at the fuel dock before we get passengers on the boat. We know we have our gas. We know we have our ice. We have everything ready for the trip. And we can focus from the minute we get out of here and we leave the slip. We're only 10 minutes out until we're up on plane. So 10, 11 minutes after leaving the slip, we're coming up. And 15 minutes from that, usually we're in our fishing area, which is pretty close to home. So I got to say, within 25 minutes to 30 minutes, there's a good chance you could have a fish on. And in some cases, it's less than that because we see stuff when we leave. And in the early season, we don't even have to go that far. They're here, which is kind of cool. And there were a couple times I went to go leave the slip, and the fish are jumping out of the water right here in the harbor. So we stop, we throw into it, we hook up, we catch a couple of, whatever's there in the harbor just to see what it is, see what size they are, and then we head out. But that's happened multiple times. So sometimes it's just a matter of luck, too. Right place, right time. And luck is also a residue of design, where the night before, based on wind trajectories for the next day and the tide that we'll be fishing, is going to dictate our game plan and the attack we have for our area of where we're going to go. We may start off in a back bay, in an estuary, just because we know we're waiting on the tide for the bite to turn on, or we're waiting on the wind direction to swing and shift. So all this comes into play. So there's a lot involved. And this time of the year is also the time we get all of our permits and everything in order. So that's why booking charters now, it's important. It's not crucial, but it's important to get the message out that 2 months out, in 60 days, we start fishing. So a lot has to happen in the next 60 days. And as a captain, I like to be super prepared. I don't like to be running around like a chicken without a head. I like to get down to the boat early, twiddling my thumbs. Everything's ready to go, and I'm waiting on the guests to arrive so that the minute they get on the boat and they're settled in and their coolers are in place and everybody's comfortable, that's it. We're shoving off and we're out of here. So if you want to come out and have some fun this year, with me and Corey, you are more than welcome to check us out. Head on over to sandcitycharter.com. You could head over to bayratsandbuoys.com. We're still giving away some stickers that are left over from the shows, but we'll be giving away some more stickers on March 1st in the gymnasium at booth number 35 at the Ward Melville High School show. And perfect example of why I attend that show every year. I'm grateful and I'm excited for Bay Rats and Buoys to be in the gymnasium this year and to have secured a spot with Bob Wilson. It's an amazing show and a great turnout every year. And I love attending it. So I'm going to love even more that I have a seat to sit in my booth and I don't got to walk around the whole day with my kids. And we have some great conversations with people in there, and I always like to mention the people that are also going to be there and the guys that I stopped by. But last week, I did rattle off a quick little list of people and people that I like to thank. And one of the guys that I go and visit every year is from RH. He does RH Custom Rods. I don't even have a card or know the name of the company. I really don't. And I'm going to go over him this year, and I'm going to pick up another rod. Every year I go to the Ward Melville show, and every year I pick up a different colored rod for the charter. And it's one of the lightest, thinnest rods that I have on the boat. It could handle anything that we're looking at. Listen, you catch a 30 or 40 pound bass on this rod, it's going to be bent in half the entire time. And depending on the reel and the line pound test you have, you're in for a fight and a half. But for the average fish that we do catch in our area, it is one of the most fun rods that I have. I could put up some B-roll here of a couple bluefish in the back of, Cold Spring Harbor, just bending this thing in half with me and Chef Rob, me and Kenny, so many different guys that I head out with. It's good to be friends. The best friend is a friend to have with a boat, right? That's what they say. The best a friend with a boat is the best friend to have. So you don't always have to hire your friends to go out. Usually you just got to pay for gas. And in my case, I don't even charge my friends for gas. If they want to kick in, they do. I'm really just out there catching fish. And it's usually benefiting me to be out there on a day that there's no charter, keeping my finger on the pulse of what's happening. But usually the reason there's no charter is it's blowing 2025, and I'm still going to go out. Even when it's rough out there, guys, I still head out and love to see the conditions. And learn. Every time I'm out there, it's a learning experience. But that RH rod that I pick up, bends in half, back Cold Spring Harbor, I get one every year at the Ward Melville show. And I love to buy stuff in bulk. This year I got two things in mind that I have to have. It's definitely a used item. I'm not telling anybody what it is, but I will show it to you in the podcast at the Ward Melville show. So while I'm podcasting, I will show you what I was talking about in this episode that I couldn't wait to pick up and use to make a video with next year. Because we do some really cool stuff, me and Corey. I mean, we'll use little Zebco rods and we'll do all kinds of different stuff. We're not looking to catch fish on telephone poles and big heavy gear. We like to think the lighter the gear, the better. So over the years, we've been buying lighter stuff for the charters and making it more fun. No matter what size fish you get, it's going to be a ton of fun. And if you happen to catch something big, like Steve and the boys did, they got a 47.6 pound striped bass on a charter. That was the biggest fish last year of 2024. If you get a big fish like that, that's your trophy. You're happy to get it, happy to land it. And in some cases, you're getting it on flutter spoons. Sometimes you're getting it on the troll. You're getting it on top water. Corey caught some monsters on top water. Me too. We just throw out into them all the time. Eventually, you're going to hook up with some big fish. And I'll be showing off all the gear that we use. I'm going to start bringing that stuff into the office. The only stuff I have here now is the Nomads, which I've already shown to you guys on the podcast. But I will start to show off some of the gear that we use. But back to the Ward Melville show, I love to walk around and stock up. Whether it's the TA clips, whether it's sliders, whatever we use, any kind of terminal tackle, and treble hooks. I like to buy things in packs of 100 and stock up on my leader and get the fluorocarbon that we need in the right size so we're ready for everything. And that's what I love about that show. It makes it so easy and convenient for me. Everybody is there. If you look at the list of vendors, it's quite incredible. It really is. And I'm blessed to be part of it this year. I really am. Super excited to be there, and I say that often, but it's for good reason. It's going to be a great show. It always is. In fact, there was some comments recently on social media that people wrote for that video last week saying, hey, it's a great show. And even people that aren't vendors, everybody loves going to that show. I'm going to see guys from my marina. I can't wait to see Big Joe. I know Big Joe's going to be there. Chris, you better join him too. I'm hoping to see Big Joe and Chris at the boat show, at the Ward Melville show, the fishing show. That's going to be excited. Right now you got the international Miami, the boat show in Miami going on until the 16th, from today until Sunday. So anybody down south heading over to that, I'm pretty jealous because we just got more snow. We're going to get some. It's just nonstop snow, which is cool. You know what happens when it snows here? I go and I hit the Connecticut River. Every year there's videos and pictures of me catching rainbow trout, and there's snow all over the side banks of the river. And I don't know what it is. Even my older kids, my guys that are in their 20s asked me, what makes you want to go stand in a river while there's snow on the ground? They thought I was crazy. And I appreciated that question because I said, well, basically I'm a lunatic. Something's wrong with me. I want to go stand in cold water where your feet get numb. And no, they don't. I mean, you're wearing waders and, I got some soft bottom boots that I wear too. I'm not wearing big, heavy, cumbersome rock climbing boots for the Connecticut River. I like to go there in stealth mode. Super comfy. Layered up so I can take stuff off. And the only thing I don't want the guides to be freezing up. So I like the temperature to be around 43, 44 would be a perfect day in February, which I haven't even looked at the temperature and the weather yet. I'm just telling you, I'm going. The snow's on the ground. It's time for me to hit the river. I haven't hit it yet, guys. I've been so busy. I'm still answering email. I mean, the podcast really is starting to take off, and it's a lot of work. And I am not turning down the work. It's a ton of fun. And great things are going on, and I can't wait to share some of them with you, which will be telling you guys at episodes that we do at the Ward Melville show come March 1st. That's 3 weeks away. I mean, this goes up, on the 13th of February? This is going to be Thursday the 13th, and we're March 1st. So, 3 weeks out, we're going to be at the show. And if you heard my episode with Matt Broderick from the Fisherman Magazine, who I'm having great talks with, too. Can't wait to do some stuff with them for 2025. Matt mentioned all the shows. I mean, he's literally bouncing around from show to show to show to show to show. We did just recently put in an application for iCast. Let's see how that goes as far as the application is concerned, and whether we're going to be attending this year or exhibiting as a podcast and be there with a booth. I'll let you guys know as we get closer to July for the iCast show. But right now here on Long Island, there's a ton of fishing shows. You got flea markets going on. You got the one in Greenlawn. It's every week there's, different shows. They some of them just passed. You got up-and-coming ones that are happening now. So it's easy to follow those on Facebook. And I like to post a lot of the stuff like I share. I'm going to be posting a lot of videos, obviously, for the Ward Melville March 1st show because I'm going to be there. So I'm going to help promote that. I love to help and promote other local businesses that I'm friends with. That's why you create a podcast and have a channel so that you have an audience that you could share this with. And hopefully it's an audience that's into boating and fishing. That's the reason I stayed very organic with YouTube and didn't try to pay for subscribers and do any of that. I think by this weekend, I'll say by March 1st, we'll be at 3,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel totally organically. That's the Sand City Charter channel. I wasn't going to go and start a new channel for Bay Rats and Buoys, guys, because the channel would have had zero traction, and I had one that had already started up. So actually, the Sand City YouTube channel just got to its third year, February 8th. It became a three-tager. It's a three-teenager on YouTube, and we're growing that organically. And I think in last episode, I told you guys we had a video go viral that had like 620,000 views last week. It's already up to 667,000 views. And it was a short. So it was a short that I posted. And now I'm going to put up a newly mastered, edited version of that same video, and not in the short form. I did make a 6-minute video of that tutorial down at the dock during the summertime. It was awesome. I did put in my time making it. It was a day off of being a commercial tow captain and a charter captain, so I had the day off. I sat on the dock for an hour or so and made a really, really cool video, and it proved to be worth it on YouTube. It went viral on TikTok. I had over 860,000 views on TikTok. So there's a point where I'll say they'll probably be in the 2 million mark between Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube combined. It's well over 2 million views. And when you get a video that goes viral like that, you start to get your subscribers on a daily basis based on the videos that are going viral, and you're getting people that are into your niche. So you're getting guys that are into boating and fishing. This is why we put up videos from the boat show. We're not expecting those videos to go viral, but from now until next year, yes, they'll get a certain amount of views, which is why you post them and put them up there. You don't post videos on social media to go viral. You don't. If you get one to go viral, you're lucky. Like I think I've mentioned in other episodes, my 12-year-old put a video on TikTok, which was literally just a bunch of drawings, flipping a page, and singing a song in another language, and it got 5 million views, which is epic, So for him, kudos, great, I compared it to catching your first fish as a 50-pound bass. It's not going to happen too often, so don't get used to it. You got your hole-in-one in golf, kudos, good. You gauge 50-pound bass, awesome. Congratulations, that's why we go out there, We're all looking for that big fish. But don't make videos to go viral. You're going to make your videos, put them on your social media feed, and create content, and keep that content based around your audience and feed that niche, which is, in our case, boating and fishing. That's what Bay Rats and Buoys is all about. And some of the next few guests that we have lined up are some of the best at both boating and fishing, and I'm super excited. I want to say the next 3 or 4 guests have me bursting at the seams, and I can't wait until the date is set and that I know that they're coming in, which we'll have locked in next week. I'll announce if they're not on next week, so I will announce 1 or 2 of the guests that are definitely coming on once they confirm the date. So like I said, it's tough to schedule. It really is. And we got more big news coming in April about the podcast and about what we're doing here. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Really do. And we're back on schedule. So there will be a podcast every Thursday, 6 o'clock on YouTube, on all of our podcast networks. So wherever you listen to the audio feed, obviously the video feed, I put it up on Facebook, which I got to give a shout out to a lot of the admins. And we're getting into the 30-minute mark of this podcast. So I want to shout out to the admins and say that there are a lot of great Facebook groups out there. Some are here on Long Island. Others are throughout the United States. And I've met so many great people through the messages I've received on Facebook and from the admins that I'm going to say this to a lot of you admins out there. If you want to grow your Facebook group or you want to do some sort of promotion and collaborate with Bay Rats and Buoys, whether you're in another country or state, wouldn't matter. I could still do this video with a split screen and put you on the other side of the screen. I could do that. Or if you are a local admin and you're here in the New York or tri-state metropolitan area, you can sit right there next to me and I can get you on the podcast and we could talk about your Facebook group and what it took for you to grow that group and how hard it is. Because there's a lot of work that goes into these things, guys. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think you're just going to go start a group and we're going to get 47,000 members or 5,000 members. Takes years, to build that up. And some of the groups are great. And some of the groups have a ton of keyboard warriors and a bunch of Karens in it that do nothing but complain. And then you see guys that are real angles in the group saying, I'm out of here. I can't listen to this. I'm done. And I see it all the time. So I'm very grateful for the Facebook presence and the Instagram and the TikTok and all that stuff. I'm starting to put up more shorts on TikTok and Instagram, clips from like this podcast. I take 3 minutes and put up a clip from this that has some information that is, worthy of sharing in small increments to get people to try to watch more of the episode. But I'll take some time during this episode just to shout out a couple of the guys that I'm going to visit at the Ward Melville High School Fishing Club Expo and Fundraiser going down on March 1st. So again, guys, I'm totally unscripted, raw. I could turn the camera around in here. I should take the GoPro over here one day and film and show you what I'm looking back at because I'm looking back at a camera. A lot of times people see me looking at the lens and they think I'm reading a teleprompter. There's no teleprompter here. Bay Rats and Buoys is raw and unscripted, and that's what I love about sitting down on the mic here in the studio and taking my time, not worrying about the wind direction and the 18-mile-an-hour wind and where I got to sit on the boat to kind of shield the wind a little bit. And I got to say, the first 10 or 11 episodes on the boat, I tried to stay on schedule. And I think there was only one day that I did it at my house because it was raining. It was just a bad, I have a center console. So it's a bimini top. I can't plug this stuff in, thousands of dollars worth of equipment and sit on a boat in the rain. It's time for a bigger boat. I get it. It's time to grow. I understand. So when you get to the Ward Melville show, what I love about that show is that those vendors are in the same spot every year. So you know where to go. You know where they are. You know where the magazine is going to be at booth number 57. So you know where Matt Broderick is going to be handing out magazines and signing people up. They do have great products they were giving away at the boat show. It was based on, while supplies last. So I don't know when they get back from the Miami show if they're going to have supplies. but hopefully they're giving away the same product they were at the boat show. It was a great product. And if you tune into the Broderick episode of the New York Boat Show podcast series, you'll see what he was giving away. My mate went and signed up for the magazine just to get one because the quality, it was really good. So it was worth signing up for, worth getting. And so I got to give them a shout out. Last week I said they were booth 47. They are at booth 57. And when I get down the hallway, so when you first come in, you're walking down the hallway before you get to the raffles outside the cafeteria, and you're going to see tables on one side, and then once you get through the doorway, it's tables on both sides. But the first person that I'm going to see happens to be my favorite editor in the whole wide world, and you guys might know him as Outdoor Tom. You've seen him in Newsday. He writes for Southern Boating Magazine. He writes for Cito. He's an amazing writer right here on Long Island, and he knows everybody, and everybody knows Tom, and everybody knows who I'm talking about. So Tom Schlichter, he will be over at booth H82 at the Ward Melville High School Fishing Show, and I love going over and seeing Tom every year. We email back and forth throughout the season. He's always got an open invite to get down on the boat, for sure. I will be on his boat this year, for sure, and super excited about that. But then when I pass Tom and I'm heading down the hallway, who do I run into next? None other than Captain Pete from Cito Port Jefferson. Him and the crew will be there. So I got to stop and talk to them. I only had one instance last year where they stopped and handed somebody off to me to take them back to my area. Just so happened to be an 18-ton sailboat that I had to bring all the way down Huntington Harbor, all the way to the end, and put them on Willis Dock. It was, that's a 18-ton sailboat is huge, guys. The beam on that thing, I think, was like 18 feet. It was an incredible, incredible size sailboat. One of the biggest boats I've ever had to tow. So that was a rare handoff coming from east to west. Usually it's people in my area, and we hand them off to other people. So it was great to see Pete out of the water that day. So it's always great to go over to talk to him at his table and laugh about some of the stories and things that go on in our world as commercial tow captains. So then I usually zip by the cafeteria, because when I go into the cafeteria, I like to take my time and spend some time around the tables and pick away at all the little things that I'm going to need. I got my shopping list with me. So I'll go back in there after I hit the gymnasium. I like to walk around and just say hello to a bunch of people. And we mentioned Tom and Cito, and then we have the nautical school's going to be there. They're going to be at booth 169, so anybody looking to find out information on becoming a captain, we did do a great episode at the boat show with Bay Rats and Buoys and Captain Mike, owner of the nautical school, and he'll have a booth there at booth 169 in the gymnasium. And off to the right when I go in, usually one of the first guys I'll stop by in the gym and stop and talk to is Mike from Deck at Tri-State. And last year, I just went over and gave him a pound. He was so busy talking to people, I didn't want to disrupt. There to make sales, guys. That's what the booth is there for. They want to hand out their cards. They want to show you the product, and that's why they get a booth. And I highly recommend. Corey's got Deck It on his boat. A couple of my buddies have Deck It on their boat. Corey loves it and brags about it, and it's something that you could add for decor. It's something you can add for comfort. And if you're into upgrading and fixing or doing anything, adding something nice to your boat, Deck It is definitely on the top of the list. So you want to go over and see Mike at Deck It. Again, he is at booth number 158. And, of course, I always shout out Captain Dave. Captain Dave from North Island Fly, my boy. He ended the season in my area. I actually saw him in my harbor, and it was coming down to the end. And he was going to go jump in on the action on the South Shore, because I know he trailers his boat around a lot. So that was great to see that he actually jumped out into the mix on the South Shore and jumped in on the striped bass as our season came to a close in our area. You guys had a hot bite on the South Shore to close out the striped bass season for sure. It was incredible. We did have a great bite in our area, but it ended, and it was just a lot of schoolies and rats, as it does when there's thousands of birds out there. Also, when I'm out in my area, every day there are two guys that I see the most out there, and like I say, it's Captain Dave and it's Captain Stu from Northport Charter. So whenever I get over to the Ward Melville show, me and Captain Stu get to catch up. And he's always shocked to hear that on April 15th, the size of the fish that I'm catching in our area and where I catch them, because I'm happy to tell him. And I tell him every year. And that's what's cool about being in the clique, When you're in a clique, in captains groups and Facebook groups and in text messaging groups that I'm in, there's a lot of us that share intel. And there's a reason why we share intel. And when I get out there on certain days and I'm out there with three friends that are on different boats, we're all communicating with one another. Why? Because catching fish is not always the easiest thing in the world to do. And like I said, there's guys I know that go out there that haven't caught a striped bass yet. And when you have eyes in different places and people are working different areas and we're communicating with one another, it's great when you get a text message saying, hey, shoot on over here. They're blowing up or they're biting. The chew is on. So, that always helps. And being in those cliques, it really comes down to the intel. And I always say this. Life is about who you know, not what you know. It's about who you know. And when you know the right people, you're going to get some good intel. And I'm always happy to be the guy with certain people that shares the intel. And again, like I said, the key word there was with certain people, because we're looking for reciprocity. We want to reciprocate that information back and forth. Okay, so that's not just a one-way street. I have groups of guys that I fish with all the time. Then there's one guy in the group, he'll never tell you where he caught it. He's showing you pictures of it, and he'll never tell you where he was. And I get it. That's fine. But don't ask me where I was, because I ain't going to tell you. And that's just how it is. And I love it, guys. So those are my shout-outs for the Ward Melville High School show going down March 1st. I hope to see you guys there. We are back on track for Bay Rats and Buoys as far as episodes every Thursday at 6 o'clock. We got 3 weeks now until we hit that show. I will announce in next week's episode a couple of the guests that we have lined up. I'm just waiting for confirmation on the date that they are going to make it here into the studio. And I really can't wait to share some of the big news, guys. It's getting bigger and bigger as the year goes on. And super exciting. As far as a product, I put this on the table for a reason. And there are some pictures online where I'll get made fun of, where I take a selfie and I put the headset on, and people will say, you want fries with that, because they think I'm working at the drive-thru. However, this Blue Parrott headset happens to be a necessity for me, both as a commercial tow captain and a charter captain, as far as turning this on, answering my phone, and being able to drive the boat 35, 40 miles an hour. And it sounds like I got my feet up on my desk in the studio talking to you on my cell phone. So it has 90-something% noise canceling. I have a little screen on here that I put on manually just to keep some of the wind out, making it sound better. Again, I'm on a center console. It has windshield and whatnot, so I'm protected from the wind. And there's a canvas on the commercial tow boat, so I am protected. Again, another center console. So I got to say, I don't think I could live without this as far as talking on the phone. I love talking on my VHF radio, but again, there's times where we'll throw out some secret words and we'll shoot text messages, and we don't want everybody on certain channels that we're on. And I will share. I'll do an episode strictly on the VHF radio, and what channels we use for what in our area. And then we have some secret channels that we don't want people to listen to us. So we may hail you and tell you to go to a channel and then, switch it up on you. Because, again, guys, people do follow you. So this is an amazing headset for my Bluetooth, and I use it every day. As you can see, my earpiece is worn out. But I keep this in my bag, and I will also take everything out of my bag in my captain's bag that goes on me on every boat that I get on. Doesn't matter where I am and who I'm with. There are certain things that I'm going to have with me. This happens to be one of them, and I would recommend this to anybody that needs to speak to somebody while driving a boat. Driving a car, you have your Bluetooth in a car, it sounds fine. But on a boat, there's nothing better. I love this. Couldn't live without it, and recommend it. I'll put a link to it in the description. I get no monetary benefits from recommending this product to you. It's solely on that I love it, and it works great. That's it. That's why I'm recommending it to you guys, and I'm going to do that throughout my podcast when I come across great products and products that me and Corey love to use on our boat. We're going to share them with you, and hopefully you could tap into some new products that you've never used before, and it changes the way you target and catch fish. Hopefully we can help you out with that. Want to wish everybody cheers. I got my birthday this weekend. Throw a happy birthday in the comments. Captain Gaige signing off. Episode 18 is in the books. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines. And I'll see you March 1st, the Ward Melville Show. See you later.